All right, guys, let's look at question 6 of the November 2022 paper. Question 6 reads as follows. It says 12,000 rands was invested in a fund that paid interest as M% per annum, compounded quarterly. After 24 months, the value of the investment was 13,459 rands. Determine the value of M. Okay, now this looks like a paying question, okay? Because this is just a single investment. Now, how do we work with paying questions? Well, very basic. You need to know which variables do you have values of and which one are you asked to work out. It's a paying situation. What do we know? Well, we know for a fact that 12,000 was invested. That's the principal amount. 12,000 was invested in a fund that paid an unknown interest. So we don't know what I is. Okay, that's M%. Okay, per annum compounded quarterly. And then after 24 months, the value of the investment was 13,000. So that means the value later is 13,459. We want you to find what M is going to be. Now, this is 24 months, right? So I'm just going to take this here, 24 months. In fact, I'm going to put my I as M because they told us it's M% per annum compounded quarterly. Now, I'm going to change those values because we know when we are compounding interest this way, there's something that happens to the value of the interest as well as the number that you're looking at, which happens to be N here. Okay, so the number of times at which we're going to earn interest means we're earning interest every quarter. Now, how many quarters do you have in 24 months? A quarter in a year takes you 3 months. That means I need to divide 24 by 3. It's going to give me exactly 3 quarters. I mean 8 quarters. That implies 3 quarters, not 3 but 8 when you divide by 3. Okay, because 24 divided by 4 would give you 6, but 4 months is not a quarter. Okay, quarterly, every quarter takes 3 months. If you're giving me 24 months, it means 2 years. And that implies that if I was taking it to 2 years, I would have 2 years divided by 4. 2 years times 4, that will still give me 8 quarters. So in 24 months, a quarter is 3 months. If you divide by 3, you get 8 quarters. Very important for you to keep that in mind. Now, M, of course, has to be divided by your value of 4 in this case, because when we compound interest quarterly, we have to divide our M by 4. Okay, so we are looking for that. So let's try and write the correct formula. A is equal to P into 1 plus I to the power of N. Why am I doing that? They said compound, okay? And then we want to find the value of I. So I'm going to make I the subject. I divide both sides by P. I'll be left with 1 plus I to the power of N. I take the nth root on both sides. I'm going to get the nth root of A on P is 1 added with I, which means when I subtract 1 on both sides of this, I'm going to end up with I is equals to the nth root of A divided by P, take away 1. Now, once I have that, I can now substitute all these things. Remember, I is actually M over 4. So M over 4, okay, I'm going to get M as a decimal. And of course, I'll convert it to a percentage after by multiplying with 100. But then that's not a train smash. Our N value is 8, so we're looking for the 8th root of 13,459 divided by 12,000, okay? And we are taking away 1. And then whatever you're going to get, you have to multiply it by 4. So M over 4 equals, I think that calculation we're going to get from this quickly. Let's see how that is going to pan out. I am currently sitting with a calculation that requires us to work out here. Okay, let's go back here. We want to work out the 8th root of a fraction. All right, so on the numerator, we've got 13,459. On the denominator, we are looking at 12,000. Okay, and then I think if you try and move this a bit to the right to subtract 1, not inside, so backspace, let's get out. Okay, minus 1 there. What am I ending up with? I'm ending up with 0.1444, Okay, so 0.1444. I think what are the other digits there? I think it's 6021. Okay, 6021. It continues, of course. Then if you multiply that by 4, what do you get here? If you multiply that by 4, I'm going to just say times 4. I'm going to end up with 0.0577. Okay, I'm ending up with 0.0577. Blah, 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 which when you convert to a percentage, therefore M as a percentage will be equal to whatever we're looking at there multiplied by 100. And that gives us 5.78%. So 5.78% compounded quarterly per annum. Okay, per annum compounded quarterly. Okay, very important. Cool. Now, the next question is saying to us on the 31st January 2022, Tino deposited 1,000 rands in an account that paid interest at 7.5% per annum, compounded monthly. He continued depositing 1,000 on the last day of every month. He will make the last deposit on the 31st of December. Will Tino have a sufficient fund in the account on the 1st of Jan 2023 to buy a computer that cost 13,000 rands? Justify your answer by means of an appropriate calculation. Okay, cool. So this key word here, continued depositing 1,000 bucks, tells me that we are looking at an annuity. Okay, it's not a once-off deposit, it's multiple deposits. So we are looking at an annuity here, and in this case, because we are raising wealth from nothing, it's going to be the future value annuity. Okay, normally when you are building wealth from nothing by depositing a certain amount into an account continuously, the same amount, it's going to always be a future value annuity. We're trying to find the sum of all those 1,000 rands and the interest that they will have accumulated. So the formula here is the future values given by x into, okay, 1 plus I to the power of n, take away 1, and everything has to be divided by the interest. So how much is this guy depositing? He's depositing 1,000 rands. What is the interest that he is being given for this? Is 7.5%. That's not 0.075 compounded monthly, so it's over 12. Okay, for how long? He's going to run it from the 1st of Jan, the 31st of Jan until the 31st of December. That's actually 12 total payments that he's going to make. Okay, take away 1. Everything is in months here, just to have to make sure that everything is denominated the same. Okay, we are working with months here. Money is paid monthly, that's 1,000 every month. The interest has been converted to months, that's why I'm dividing it by 12. And the number of months that is going to do this is going to be 12 months, because from the 31st of Jan to the 31st of December is going to be 12 payments in total. Okay, then from here, you just try and figure out what the answer is going to be. I think when you compute this, you're going to get the number 12,000. Okay, it gives us 12,421,22 cents. Okay, so unfortunately, he's not going to make it. Okay, he's not going to make it. So therefore, we did not answer the question. They said, will he have money? Will he have sufficient money? So unfortunately, he won't have enough. So we're answering the question now. He won't have enough because 12,421,22 is less than 13,000 rands. Okay, he doesn't have enough. His money is below 13,000 rands. He needs 13,000 rands to raise this, to buy this computer. So he only has 12,421,22 cents. So unfortunately, he doesn't have enough. Okay, Thabo plans to buy a car that costs 250,000 rands. He will pay a deposit of 15% and take out a loan for the balance. The interest on the loan is 13% per annum compounded monthly. We need to calculate the value of the loan. Okay, so what is going on? There's a nice car, a very beautiful car. I don't know how the car looks, so let's just assume that this is what the car looks like, okay? This is what the car looks like. I need to actually show you something interesting here that we are going to talk about. So what is the value of the car? So the value of the car is exactly 250,000 rands. Okay, this is what the car costs. If Thabo has 250,000, he goes to the dealership, gives them 250K, they give him the car, he drives home. Simple as that. But now, they say he doesn't have the money. What does he have? Instead, he has 15% of what they want. And then he's going to borrow the other money from somebody else, maybe a bank or any other financial institution that is willing to borrow him the cash. So how is he going to pay? Well, he's going to give them 15% and then pay the loan, and pay the loan by making multiple payments later. So we are asked to work out how much he's actually going to borrow. Now, if he has 85% for the deposit, it means out of this 100% of the amount that it costs to buy the car, if you take away 15%, you are left with what? You are left with 85%. Which means what? Which means this price you're looking at here is made up of 15% deposit plus 85% of the loan, so that it makes 100%. So we want to know what the amount is going to be of the loan, because this one he has, this is the deposit that he has, this is what he's going to pay cash, he has that amount, but now we need to borrow this one. So the loan is going to be 85% of the cash price. So the loan is going to be 85% of 250,000 rands. The other way of working this out could have been you just saying, okay, what is 15% of 250,000, and then subtract that amount from 250,000, because that's what he has in cash. The alternative is just to say, what is 85% of that? Because we have 15%, we need 85%, we're going to borrow 85%. What is 85% of the cost price? And then 85% of the cost price, if you call your calculator and you say, okay, well, please assist me, 85% is 0.85. We multiply that with 250,000. What do you get when you multiply that with 250,000? I'm getting 212,500. 212,500. Right, so the loan is going to be exactly 212,500. Okay, cool. That's how much he's going to borrow. That's a lot of money. Okay, cool. Now, the follow-up question says to us here, it says that the first repayment will be made in 6 months' time, okay? After the loan has been granted. The loan will be repaid over a period of 6 years after it has been granted. Calculate the monthly installments. So we want to figure out how much Tibos is going to pay every month to settle the loan. So let's talk about this and use a timeline to explain it in a very awesome way. Okay, cool. All right, look at this. So this is the beginning of time, and this is the end of time. Cradle and the grave. T0 is when he is given the money. Now be careful, it's not 250,000 rands. He didn't borrow 250,000 rands. He is borrowing 212,500 rands. Okay? So that's what we are borrowing here. So we're talking about that here. 212,500 is the amount that we are discussing. Okay? 500 borrows this amount. T1 passes. T2 passes. T3 passes. T4 passes. T5 passes. T6, T-man pays. This is where he starts paying his first deposit. Okay? T-man arrives here. Okay? Puts his first deposit payment. Okay? T7, T-man is going to come back. T8, T-man is going to pay. T9, T-man is going to pay. So T-man is coming to pay this deposit, this installment from T6. Because they say here the first repayment will be made in 6 months' time after the loan was granted. And the loan will be repaid over a period of 6 years. So until his last payment is going to be on this day. Now the question is, what T value is that going to be? Right? We're interested in that. Now in 6 years' time, if you think about it, 6 years' time, okay? 6 years' time. We want to know what T is going to be. And 6 years' time, 6 times 12, right, is going to give you 72 years. So that's supposed to be T72. From the day the loan was granted. We'll talk about that T72 just now. Now, quickly. So we're giving you 212,500. You skip the payments. So what is happening for all those 5 months that the guy was not paying us back? So for this 5 months, the loan was accumulating and growing because there's no money that's going to be left in the bank, and either it's in your favor or against you. If money is not repaid back or if money is not moving, it earns interest. In this case, it's earning interest against Tibos, against Thabo. Okay? So how does it earn interest for those first 5 months? So this is how it's going to earn interest, okay? It's earning interest on compound basis. So he was given 212,500. So his money is, unfortunately, the debt is growing, which is bad for him because it's growing against him. And the interest that he is going to pay, according to the statement, is 13%. We were told here that it's 13% compounded monthly, okay? The interest of the loan, that's the interest of the loan. That implies that it's not 0.13 compounded monthly. How many months is he skipping? He's skipping 5 months. So if Thabo is not paying for 5 months, he comes back, he owes these people more than what they give him. So let's see how much he owes them now. And this is actually a very good lesson. It means if you owe people, pay them. 212,500, okay, open bracket, 1 added with, I need a fraction here, 0.13, that's 13% compounded monthly, and then I'm just going to enclose this in brackets and raise it to the power of 5. And what do I get here? I'm getting 224. Oh my God, 224, that's a lot of money. 224, 262 point something. What is something? Something in this case happens to be 5254. Okay, 5254. So this is what he owes when he comes back. Okay, he owes them that much. Now, notice that I'm not rounding off yet because I'm not done with my question. You're not allowed to round off until you get to the final answer. Okay, now Thabo comes back. So when Thabo is here, he doesn't owe 212,000 because this money has been growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. Now, what the present value formula does, it helps you to work out X for the amount that sits here. Okay? Not the amount in the beginning. So you owe people 212, the debt grows and grows and grows and grows and compound. You come back a month before you start making your repayment. That is what the formula is used to calculate. It works out what X is going to be in this case for the amount that you owe from T5. So at T5, you're not paying. So 1 month before you make your first payment, we always need that gap. Okay? That's how the formula is actually aligned. It's aligned to work out what you must pay every month for this kind of a setup where you have the debt 1 month before you start making your first repayment. We're looking for that X. And that means at that point where I wrote P, that is where we're sitting with 224,262.5254 because his debt has been growing for all those months, 5 months in total. Okay, cool. So now, what do we do? Well, we're going to work out using the present value formula. So P equals X into interesting things. What are interesting? Well, 1 minus 1 plus I to the power of negative n, everything divided by the interest. I'm interested in finding the value of X. So I'm going to make X a subject. So cross multiply the I and divide by the square bracket. So X is going to be, when you multiply this over, you get pi, okay, divided by 1 minus 1 plus I to the power of negative n. I prefer to do this because it helps to get to the answer much faster instead of just substituting from the original formula. So I'm sitting with 2, 2, 4, 2, 6, 2.5254 times the interest, which is 0.13 divided by 12, and everything is divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.13 over 12 to the power of negative. Now, how many months is Thabo left with to make the repayments? Let's go back and check from our timeline. So our timeline said here, we had 72 months in total. If we had 72 months in total, we've already wasted 5 not paying. And we have to end up 6 years after the loan was given to us. So that means we have to say out of the 72 we had, we're taking away the 5 we wasted. Because these are all wasted months we didn't pay. The remaining months that is going to pay for is going to be 67. Okay? Very important. So 72 months, if you take away 5 months, you're left with 67 months. So that's how long this period is going to be here. Those are all the months that is going to pay for. From here at X up until the last payment is made, all those payments that is going to make are going to be 67 in total. Okay? These are all the months that we're covering for that particular part. Okay, powerful. Now, going to sub that 67 here, and then you just put everything in your calculator. The answer that you're going to end up with is going to be an interesting 4,000 rands, 720 24 rands, comma 96 cents. So he's going to have to pay 4,000 rands every month to settle this loan for all those payments. Right, so this is how you will analyze questions that involve financial mathematics, talking about compound growth and compound depreciation, the future value annuity, as well as the present value annuity.